Let's start, shall we, with Russia against Spain. And as much as you want to credit Russia for doing what they did, they defended brilliantly throughout. For Spain, they lost this game.
Oh yeah, they were really disappointing, weren't they? They were caught between two styles, whether to want to pass the ball around nicely, or play to Diego Costa up front. For the love of I mean, I love Fernando Hierro, but why he chose 5 midfielders and had Koke further back in defensive areas than Busquets, and then 3 of the same players in front, when they knew they were going to control the game and have more possession, and they couldn't change it. They haven't got the personnel up front, unfortunately. They had in the past, they haven't now. Aspas, Rodrigo, Diego Costa, the way they play is not the style for them.
Over 1,000 passes in the game, the stat that kind of sums it up. Isco had 132, 12 of them went forward.
I mean, team selection, as Maka said, you've got you've got one of the best attacking fullbacks in world football on the bench in Carvajal. You've got arguably one of the best passers of a ball that's ever been in the game. One of the best unlocking a defence that's ever been in a game in Iniesta. In a game where, who's on the bench, in a game where you're going to have 75-80% possession, they're going to have everybody behind the ball, and he's not playing. So that was strange for starters. The other side of the coin was, I don't know who I was more bored with, Russia or Spain, because I expected Russia to do what they did, sure, but I didn't expect Spain to play as slowly, the passes were going back the way, and for God's sake, you don't have to score the perfect goal every time that's going to win goal of the tournament by 25 passes and then dribbling it into the goal. Have a shot. Pop it up the Costa, follow you. I know it's tight there, but play it around the corner, follow it, and get some strikes, because one of the weak points of Russia is Akinfeev, the goalkeeper. Yep. He's got a blunder in him. But if you're not getting strikes at goal, he's just happy to let his defence do the job in front of him, and then he mops up whenever he can. I thought it was pretty dreadful from Spain.
And Diego Costa never got a kick today, did he? No. He tried his best. He ran and he ran and he ran across the line and showed. But anything that went up to him only went up to him from about 15 yards. Nobody pumped the ball up. When Russia were attacking, nobody cleared the lines and let him do what he does best.
And that was the
it
crazy
was really
thing.
Disappointing.
When you have someone who has the ability, Diego Costa, to hold the ball up and be able to either win a header or at least hold the ball up and connect to a certain pass. The problem was they didn't have anybody underneath. I mean, you could have put Silva closer to him. You could have put somebody that basically allowed that outlet straight forward, even if it was just 15 yards. Because, let's face it, Russia sat back into that they were probably 15 yards from front to back. And to get an opening to have a shot from distance is difficult even then. So
you've got to play quicker around the corner and try and follow and get some strikes.
And second balls. Then you get people up closer to, if you're going to play the ball in. You look at their goal comes on a ball that comes in from wide. And it wasn't even them who touched it. Yeah. I mean, it can be ugly. And it wasn't for Spain. It was just dreadfully boring.
I think David Silva typified Spain for me. David Silva, like a lot of them, didn't have a good competition. But I tell you what, his worst performance for Man City is an 8 out of 10. Yeah. Every week, 8 out of 10 minimum, right? But even he was off his game.
We mentioned Diego Costa. They don't even look to playing to Diego Costa at times. It's like he's running by himself in a different game entirely. Outside of that, there's a lot of sideways and back passing, right? And it's back and it's sideways and back and sideways and back again. And they do that time and time again. At some point, I was wondering, okay, if you have Marco Asensio on the field, because he's going to go take somebody on, because that's the one guy that is out on the field that perhaps can beat somebody in a 1v1 situation. If he's able to break somebody down, then everybody else from Russia has to adapt to that, have to react to that. So you break your guy, 1v1, now somebody slides over, then there's a space to play. Never, ever, during the course of 120 minutes did we see really Spain trying to take somebody on. So it's just passing. And let's not forget, because we can criticize Spain as to what they did or didn't do offensively, but they're winning the game 1-0, and it's the height of stupidity by Gerard Piqué on the penalty kick. What is he doing? So at 1-0, at some point, Russia was going to have to come up. If you just keep the ball, and that's what you're going to do with Spain, you're going to win the game 1-0. Russia doesn't have enough in the attack. But then on what in the world is going on through his head when he goes up for the header, then brings the arms down, and then says, you know what, it's a good idea now that we have VAR in the game and they can really see this and take another look at this. Let me put my arm up again. It's incredible amount of stupidity for a player of that caliber, for a player of that level. Should not happen. Spain should have won this game one way or another. Even if it was ugly offensively, They still were up 1-0, and Russia should not be scoring on Spain regardless.
Let's bring in our Spanish football expert, Sid Lowe, to the show. Sid, who's getting the blame?
Well, I think tomorrow we'll see this really kind of be talked through. But what's happened, and I think this is very interesting, and it speaks very clearly to what you lot are talking about in terms of the role of Diego Costa, is over the last week, there's been a discussion in Spain, I think for the very first time since 2008, or certainly since 2010 when Spain won the World Cup, about the style. About not just whether or not you play well, but how you play, how you go about the game. And there have been people talking about the need for a revolution in the Spanish team, not just in terms of, we take this guy out, we take that guy out, we change players, but we change the way we play. And Hierro has defended Spain's style, but made changes today, which I think were concessions to a different type of style. So if you're saying, right, I want to keep the ball, I want to play possession football, but then you put Coque in instead of Thiago, I want to play that Spanish style, but you've got Costa still in the side, and you don't put, for example, Iago Aspas in there. I want to play that style, but you take Andres Iniesta out. And I think what we saw today was this kind of awkward, hybrid Spanish team that was neither one thing nor the other. And to put this in very simple terms for you, I was really struck by this. When Russia scored the penalty, that was their second shot on goal. Spain had still not had any. They were 1-0 up because of an own goal. They had not had any shots in that first half. And as you were all rightly saying, you can play long to Costa. But if that's not your style, don't do it. In which case, don't play Costa. Do something else. And I think Spain lacked a clarity in terms of what it is they wanted to do as they came into this game, and then, of course, all the way through the game as well.